Get going. Now that looks artistic, you know, a little panning.
Actually, your videos come better than C-SPAN's.
Better than C-SPAN's?
Yeah.
Less fake news.
You can't hear it though, half the time.
All right. Let's see. I'll see if I can find something that'll show us some
What
stuff.
channel is on Cox, it's 280.
The words of the day. Oh, and by the way, you know, ask all the questions you want. You know, we may not be progressing very quickly, but that's all right. We're plodding our way through. The problem is that you see, each of these verses that we look at has so much stuff in it. It's okay. That's good, right? Some of this probably go a little bit quicker though as we get through it. This is P-R-O-S. Let's see, P-S-E-R-E-I-N.
Prosperous.
Prosperian, yeah, prosperous, prosperio, prospero. Well, you can get it. It says prospero. It's a form of pro. Pro means for, or for. It's actually forward or toward the for, but it comes from, it's pros. Pro means for, pros means forward or forward toward. And then, let's see, ferio. Ferio means, I think, bear. Where's it? Bear? Bear towards. Yeah, bear. This means bear toward. Barefoot, yeah.
Yeah.
In any case, what's really interesting about this word is the word that's used. The reason that you use this word is, remember we were looking at the sacrifice last week, and the sacrifice in a Greek temple is done outside, and then they cook the meat, and then they bring it in, and then here's the door. This is a door. And this is where the God lives, and so this is open. This area is open, and then this area has a door. Does anybody recognize something that looks a little bit like something we're used to? Yeah, the Holy of Holies, right? This is a holy place in the Holy of Holies.
Catholic Church had something like that too.
Well, so does the Orthodox.
Yeah.
You know what's peculiar? The Orthodox Church calls this the Ark. That's where the Bible resides, in an Orthodox Church. And by the way, that's where the Bible resides in a synagogue. Synagogue does a similar kind of construction. Now, you say, is it parallel or copying? Well, we know the early Greeks, had experience with the Hebrews, but do you think they copied the Hebrews for their religious ceremonies and ideas? Doubtful. The Egyptians did something similar. A lot of cultures do something similar to this. Very interesting, isn't it? They have a holy place and a holy of holies kind of place. The God resides here, and there actually is a God there. It's a statue. And so this word, to bear forward, doesn't mean just to bear. It's not just a word that means I'm bearing my coffee forward. That's not what it means. It specifically means that I take the food that was sacrificed and cooked on the idol, and I bear it into the God. I bear towards the God. That's what this word means. It is a sacred word in Greek. It is a Greek that has a specific meaning in Greek. For example, we don't have a similar word, but we know of a similar word. Does anyone want to try and crack that one? It's an Old Testament concept. There is a sacrifice in the Old Testament called a wave sacrifice. Exactly, a wave sacrifice. What is a wave sacrifice? It is, look, they really didn't take a side of beef and wave it, all right? I mean, that's what our impression is. The only reason we use the word wave is because there is a sacred Hebrew word that means to bear a item in sacrifice toward God. That doesn't necessarily mean that when you take the item, what do you think you do with a wave sacrifice?
You're gonna eat it.
What's that?
You would eat it.
You're going to eat it. Exactly. What you're doing is you are presenting it to God. We don't wave it. You present it to God. You prospero. You bear it toward God. And then you eat it. The Greeks are the same way, except in the Greek worldview, we know exactly what they do. Look, the Greeks were much simpler in their sacrificial system than the Hebrews. So when they did the sacrifice, they would sacrifice the meat, cook it, prospero it to the gods, place it in the sanctuary area. Remember, close the door, leave the god the time, and then look back in. Oh, you have plenty, right? And then they would go and get it, and
Eat the leftover.
as we taught, yeah, eat the leftovers, serve in the marketplace. I mean, what a cool gig they had. This is a great thing. Also, we know, and I'll add this, we also know that we found a lot of Greek statues that have omphi. Omphi. I'm not going to go over all the words that mean the speech of the gods or the words of the gods, but omphi is a word that means the speech or words of the gods. I don't think it's found in the New Testament. The word is used when a priest speaks through a trumpet in the head of the god or the chest of the god, and his words come from the god. And that's called omphi in Greek. There's a specific sacred Greek word that means that. Interesting. And we have found statues that had this fake thing in it. Now, I don't know if they were fooling the people. If the people knew they were there, if they were hidden, we have no idea, right? It was the man behind the curtain. But cool stuff. Prospero. This other word is a little more simple word. Let's see. These are PH, not PS, that's PH. That's fee. E-I-L-E-I. Ophelia. Ophelia. It's Ophelio. It's Ophelia. Actually, Ophelia probably comes from this. And now you're going to have a new one on Ophelia because I think her name comes from this word. This word means specifically to owe. From Ophelius, to accumulate or benefit or gain. But literally, and it's the reason I give it to you is because it's translated a little bit funny, but it means to owe. What's that?
It's spelled two different ways on the sheet here.
It is?
Yeah.
Where do you see it? Where do you see it?
Oh, I-O or just O?
Oh. Remember. Okay, I'll remind you. When I give you these words, if you're looking in your Greek transliteration, if you're looking at your Greek, this is the word you will see in that place. Ophelia. Okay? But when I give you the word in the bold, that's the primary word in Greek without the declension, without the change due to a noun or verb, declension. You see what I'm saying? Like in English, we say the word said is basically the word say, right? Said is the past tense, have said. So if you want to give the whole declension of the verb, you'd say, said, have said, right? But we don't do that. We just say it's the verb say. So in Greek, I'm giving you the verb. This is a verb right here. So the verb is ophelio. But this is, when you look at it in your Greek Bible, it will be opheliai. Because that's the declension of the verb. And the reason I do that, it may be confusing. That's okay. I know you don't read Greek or speak Greek very much. But the reason I give it to you that way is so that when you look at it in your Bible, the Greek Bible, you'll see this. But I'm also giving you the form, the basic form of the word, so you understand it. You see? Because like I told you, I'm not trying to teach you how to read nor speak Greek. I can't speak Greek. I don't know how to speak Greek because there are 4 ways to pronounce Greek. This Greek. This is Koinean Greek. We don't have any idea how Koinean Greek was spoken at all. We have kind of an idea how classical Greek was, but there are 4 types of pronunciation for Greek. There's pre-Erasmusian, post-Erasmusian, modern, and classic. Classic has been developed through it's language anthropology. So for example, that's why we think that people in Shakespearean days, we think they said, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, or Romeo, Romeo, wherefore. We actually think they really said, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? You know, because when we look anthropometric or look in the past at the language, we think that Appalachian English is closer to
Cockney.
Elizabethan English. So that's what they've said. I'd like to see a play done like that. I don't think we'd be able to understand it. We can barely understand Shakespeare ourselves.
Actually, that's not true. There actually is a theater in London. You can look up on YouTube that does the original.
Really?
And you can actually understand it easier. As Americans, we can understand it easier than we can understand the regular British.
It's probably closer to the King's language, the King's English. See, we speak the King's English. George III,
French.
right? Oh, that George III only spoke German. Oh man, how'd that happen? In any case, that's a problem. Okay, this is Lambani, Lambani, Lambano. I gave you this word because I threatened to use it because I want you to see. We're going to see where it's translated correctly to take. This means to take. Unfortunately, in our Bibles, in our NIV, they love to translate it to receive. But it means to grasp. I didn't put all the things in here, but specifically this word means to grasp a hold of. So whenever we see lambano, it means to literally grab. It doesn't mean to weakly, take or receive. It means to grasp hold of it. Anyway, I threw those in. I thought that was good for us. Now, we are magically at the beginning of chapter 5, which, remember, do the chapters mean anything? Nope.
Placeholders.
We might have gotten lucky. The chapters were added. I have to go back to my mind. The chapters, I think, were added about 800 AD, and then the verses were added around 1200 AD, I believe. I think that's about right. And the chapters, they tried to break the Greek into what they thought was logical formats. But remember, before you had verses, and remember, how much punctuation was there?
0.
0. And we didn't, I can't remember when our first, I should go back and look all this up because I remember I taught a class a few years ago about this. But, I think it's in my translations class. But, punctuation is a new idea. Now, spaces and words is kind of an old idea in English. We've been using that since Chaucer. But I don't think Chaucer had any punctuation. I don't think he had any commas or periods or, or emicons. Yeah, emicons. Now we're going to have emicons, right? People have little smiley faces at the end of their Bible verses. I can see that happening.